Are you ready?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. John Peckman Podcast, Connecticut Valley School of Music and Dance, beautiful downtown Portland, Connecticut. Come over the bridge, go through one set of lights. Pull a Yui. Park in front of the music store with the red neon light. Like and subscribe. We have a mannequin out front. I don't know. Did you notice that?
I did.
Yeah.
And I've heard you say it.
It's our new thing.
It's
yeah.
cool.
I guess so.
Does he have a name?
I had nothing to do with it. I don't know. I don't want to have anything to do with it. Like and subscribe. Tell your friends. Be on the show with me. Have your own show here in our beautiful studio. Dave will tell you how. We are here today with Matthew Foley, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Who apparently I've met before. No offense. I don't remember. But
I think you will.
But the Pope said the same thing to me. He's like, you don't remember? You know, I don't remember much. So, but go ahead. I'm ready.
For the story?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, all right. It was a few years ago.
Okay.
It was in this building.
Okay.
My wife, Megan, was taking drum lessons with you.
Oh, yeah.
Blonde.
Yeah.
I think she only took a couple lessons.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask you, I'm a songwriter, and I wrote a song that felt like a waltz to me, and everything else I've written has been 4/4 time. I said, is this 3/4? I think so. Is it 6/8? I don't know.
Yeah.
So she said, ask John, he'll know. So I came in with her at the end of her lesson.
Yeah.
And you were sitting at a kit, and I said, hey, and I had my guitar, and I said,
okay,
what is this?
I do remember that.
And see, and you said, well, it's 3/4. But it could be 6/8. I think you said it depends on how
depends on
you play it, how you want it.
Right. And for drummers, it kind of makes a difference.
It does.
In how you think about it. But.
And I have a certain way I play it on the guitar that, I mean, I don't say it sounds waltzy, but it's the, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah,
1,
sure.
2.
Yep.
That's what it is.
Yep.
And I noticed that I like it a specific way, but I don't have the language you have for the drums. I just know if it can get too swingy, and I don't like it too swingy.
Sure,
I want it this other thing. I think I explained that to you.
Sure.
And you played around with it, and it was cool. So we've met.
Hey, that's cool. I do. I kind of remember that now. Yeah, I do.
There you go.
Yeah, I remember her.
And she's still playing drums.
Wow.
She's got a kit.
Wow. Hey,
and
cool.
she
that
said,
was a while ago. I mean, that was before.
I always think it's 3 years and it's 6. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
It might have been.
Right, yeah.
She told me what year it was, and I forgot.
It was before the pandemic. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And she's still playing. She's getting better.
Wow.
She doesn't like to call herself a drummer. No, you're a drummer. You're a beginner, but you're a drummer.
Yeah, right.
And she can. I have more confidence than her, so like I can sit at a kit and fool around.
Sure.
And I got the confidence to sort of try something or whatever.
Right.
But she can read the music better than I can. Huh. She knows things. I said, you're doing things better than me. And I played rhythm guitar for a long time.
Well,
do you know what I mean?
There's no right way to do things.
And it's really fun.
Like, I don't know if I taught her that, but if you're going to come for lessons, I'm going to try and teach you the right way.
Yeah.
Even though I don't even do anything the right way. But I try to make it a better place. I go, well, if someone's going to come to me as a blank slate, I want to teach them the right way.
Yeah.
So that they can maybe even reject it. Because that's what I did. I knew all the rules, and then I just was like, whatever. But I still know the rules.
It's good to know the right way.
I think so.
My sister is married to a guy whose father played drums with Charlie Daniels Band.
Oh, wow. Cool.
He was like their original drummer, I think.
Yeah, wow.
And so he taught Bob, my brother-in-law, how to play.
Wow.
And very strict rudiments, basics,
sure.
over and over and over.
Yeah.
So he knows that stuff. And I know that, how important that is. But like you said, I tend to be one who I like to bend rules and stuff because I don't know, just to use your imagination and let the creativity flow. But you have to have the basics to be able to do that kind of,
It's always a mixture. You know what I mean?
It is.
Because if you only learn whatever. It's all expression anyway. If you have something to
100%.
say, you're going to express it whether you're doing it the right way or the wrong way, you're going to figure it out. It doesn't do you a whole lot of good to know all the right ways to do something if you don't have anything to say or anything to express.
Mm-hmm.
Then all you're expressing is, look what I learned. Like I always have this thing when I hear people play, I don't want to hear what you know. I want to hear how you feel. You know what I mean?
Oh, we're gonna have a good talk.
So anyway, all right. So, but the more that but technique can help you.
You have to
maybe express what you feel more effectively. But I don't think you should only express your technique. Anyway,
I've often said, if I had a choice between, because I play guitar and I played a long time, but I'm not that good in my opinion, and I never tried to be.
Right.
I was more like I played it because I wanted to sing, and I played it because I wanted to write. You know?
Sure.
But I would rather, if I had a choice between seeing two acts, and one was a guy playing guitar and he was technically a virtuoso.
Sure.
But didn't have that feel, that soul.
Sure.
Or somebody who was kind of mediocre technique,
right,
but just had feel.
Right.
All day.
Yeah.
All day. And that's
too.
what I want to do. And that's what I try to do, because I can't play like Hendrix. So I try to at least have some kind of feeling.
Right.
And I'll tell you one more quick thing. When I was like 16, I started studying martial arts, and I loved it.
Okay.
And it's interesting because Bruce Lee was, everybody's, right?
Sure.
And he said...
He's the Beatles of martial arts. I don't know, the Led Zeppelin of whatever.
He's the Hendrix, right?
Yeah.
But it's interesting what he says, because I always think of a lot of things in my life, including music, this way. He said, you have to have the basics, the rudiments. You have to know how to throw all the punches, how to throw all the kicks.
One would hope.
And then you get to a place where you no longer have to think about it.
Right.
If you're defending yourself,
agreed,
the kick you need comes out.
Agreed.
It's the same thing like playing drums or playing. The technique's there. So now he called it an expression, the human expression.
Yeah, right.
Of martial arts, and I was like, I never thought of it that way.
Yeah.
And I didn't get to that level of mastery, but I knew what he meant.
Wow.
You know, and I try to apply that to things.
Wow. Yeah. Why not? Yeah. No, that's interesting. Yeah, I wouldn't think of it that way, because you would think that being, ignorant in martial arts, I would think that martial art is nothing but technique. But expression with right.
In the beginning it is.
Right, sure,
but
sure.
you know how in the beginning, I mean, I don't know your journey as a drummer. Some guys just sit down and they have that knack for playing, but you gotta go through that. I have to learn how to, this is how I do a paradiddle. This is how I do whatever, a flam, whatever.
I think so.
But then when you get to that point where you can transcend that, it's really interesting.
Yeah.
Really fun,
Yeah. I mean, speaking for myself, I had a head start in that. I don't know why or what. I could see it and imitate it pretty quickly.
Nice.
Like a good mimic. I could just see someone play drums and go, and get in.
Yeah.
And so I had that head start of being able to do stuff. But then when I started learning a little bit more legit, like through lessons, technique did help. They both meet if you let them. Yeah, I always think of it like you have I don't know. We don't even know who you are or what you're doing with your life. We're already getting into this, so we'll
circle
go back.
Around.
Yeah, we'll circle around. But honestly, I have this weird for me, it's almost like a mission statement when it comes to teaching or learning music. I think about this. I might be wrong, but this is just the way I think about it. Is when you go to play music, you have a part of your brain that's very abstract. I'm sure there's someone that could probably sum this up in 5 seconds, but there's the part of your brain that is expressive and can imitate and can pull things out of the ether and but you don't really know how you're doing it. You just go, I kind of got it. Then there's a part of your brain that can analyze and break things down. Okay. And when you learn music, I think it's the same task, but you're using two different parts of your brain or approaches to your brain to approach the same task. And sometimes they're pointing in the opposite direction, But as you get further along, you realize you're bending those two parts of your brain to meet each other to focus on the same task.
Mm-hmm.
And if you get far enough so that they both realize, because I think music is one of the only things that uses both of those, or maybe martial arts, that uses both of those diametrically opposed parts of your brain
Mm-hmm.
to focus on the same task. And once they start moving together and they realize, oh, we're looking at the same thing from different angles, and then boom, when they start moving together,
Mm-hmm.
your brain, you're using the whole thing. And it sounds really crazy, but that
No, I totally
that
get
unity, music brings people together. It brings it's a fusion.
Yeah.
By its nature. So, but I do feel like, for me, I had a lot of this and not enough of that. But once I got to a certain point when the tipping point came, and then you're using your whole thing to work on the same task. You're bringing your brain together. You're bringing people together.
Right.
It's the whole thing. So
Yeah, I think of that. I mean, I don't know. I think of that as left brain and right brain.
yeah,
Like the left
right.
is
It's
the
probably
logical. I get that from my dad. Very analytical.
Mhm.
You know, I was good at math in high school, deductive reasoning, problem solving.
See,
all
I
that
wasn't
stuff.
at all. Yeah,
But then the right side, from my mom, the creative side, the
Yeah, yeah.
artistic side,
yeah.
and it comes together. And when you have the whole brain, they call it. Because I took a test like 20 years ago or something.
Yeah,
I don't remember if it was personality, but
Sure.
the quadrants and all this stuff, and it said I was whole brained, and I thought, oh, that makes sense.
I
And
got a hole in my brain. I'm probably whole brain.
sometimes that's,
Whole with an HOLE
Yeah.
brain. That would be me. Yours whole brain. Sorry. Anyway.
sometimes it's not a curse, but sometimes it's a struggle, because when I'm in
Sure.
the process of writing a song,
Sure.
my left brain will want to do something, and my right brain wants to do something else.
Right.
And it's hard because it's kind of like, I call it magnetism and electricity.
Okay.
Like the left brain's like magnetism, and it wants to fix something, and I'll get this riff or this idea, and I can't let it go. And I know if I let it go, I'll get to the next part.
Yeah.
So I have to force myself to somehow get into that fluid, electrical,
To
right
let the
brain
next
thing.
part kind of
And then
come
it comes,
flowing in.
and it's so much better because it's going to be better, but it's hard. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
And as you different parts of your life, like when I was younger, it was probably easier, but I wasn't aware of it because I've studied it now. I love philosophy and psychology and all that stuff,
Sure.
so
Sure.
interesting.
Wow.
And I wanted to say the way I learned to sing, because I'm self-taught,
Sure.
very much what you were saying about, being able to mimic. When I was like 12, 13 or something, I started getting into music more, and I was into all of these like singer-songwriters of the 60s and 70s, like Jackson Brown, Dylan, Neil Young, all these guys. And I didn't know how to sing, but I had a voice, and I go, oh, I can sound like Jackson Brown. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Oh, I can sound, like somebody else.
Yeah.
And then, I can sing like, Jonathan Edwards. Oh, I learned vibrato. I didn't know I could do that. I heard my grandmother do that in church. Cool. And then somebody like, John Fogerty. I loved Creedence. And I'm like,
Whole different
I
thing.
can't do that.
Yeah.
And it took a while it's a different part of my voice. Oh, I can't do it like him, but I can do it like me.
Yeah.
And, all these different people who influence you, from like, I found recently I found that the sting part of my voice. Oh, I can go high if I do this thing with my voice. And it's not a falsetto. It's like something else. I don't know.
Yeah.
And
Crazy.
it's really interesting stuff. And I've had other people tell me after I've performed, like, oh, I heard Peter Gabriel in that song. And I'm like, I never heard that.
Yeah.
Cool. I love Peter Gabriel.
Yeah, sure.
And my wife goes, oh, babe, I love that song, your new song. It sounds like Gordon Lightfoot. And I'm like, really?
Wow.
She goes, yeah, I love that part of your voice. And I'm like,
Great. You don't even know.
Just exploring
Wow.
different, what can I do with this instrument? You know?
That's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. Yeah, I guess it's all going to come out,
Yeah. And it's, like as a songwriter, I don't want every song to sound the same,
Sure.
but then you want to have people know it's you as soon as they hear it, kind of thing, like on the radio, right?
Yeah.
The Stones come on, you know it's them in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Even if it was a new song, you would know it was them.
Sure.
But I try as much as I can to try to write in sort of different styles and sounds, and I sort of allow myself to be pulled in. Okay, this is a Jack White thing that's coming out of me here. That I'm getting influenced by, and this is something else. And it's fun because you have to learn what can I do. With my limitations, what can I do that's interesting or whatever, fun or original, hopefully.
Yeah. Well, I guess, like you said, well, all right, let's.
Are we going to start now?
Yeah.
Hey, should we start?
Yeah. Exactly. So what are you doing that people would know about that how would you define yourself? Like you playing gigs, what are you doing?
Right now, that's a good question.
Yeah, right.
I'm not really gigging. I gigged a lot like in my 20s.
Sure.
I was in a band in New Haven.
Okay.
Loved every second of it.
Oh, yeah.
After college, it was like best couple of years of my life in some ways. And, then like I haven't been gigging much. I got so into songwriting.
Yeah.
That like it's weird. Like I don't know what happened.
Were you doing that back then, writing?
I was mostly collaborating. Like what happened is I met a guy in college in a drama class, and they said, "Hey, come in, and we want to get to know you. Do a 5 minutes of anything you want. Read a poem, whatever you want to do. We want to get to know you as an artist." And I brought my guitar. I wasn't writing then. I played the first song I learned on the guitar that my brother...
Which was Smoke on the Water. No.
2.5 Men.
Magic.
No, my brother gave me a guitar, taught me some chords. I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. I learned a Neil Young song.
Your brother who's been here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Michael Foley.
Yep.
Who was here recently.
Yep.
And one of my influences. And he taught me like, I don't know, C and D or something on the guitar. And I started strumming it. And I was like, okay, this is cool, but whatever. And he started singing a song I knew, and I was like, whoa, this is a song. And he sang the first verse, and then he goes, all right, you take the second verse. And as soon as I started singing, I messed up the chords. And I was like, oh, you made that look so easy. How do you do that? So I had to work at it, but I got it pretty quick, but I learned that song. So I went into college years later, and I played that song. And it's called Little Wing by Neil Young, but it's not the Little Wing, the Hendrix. It's like Neil Young came out with an album in the 70s.
Yeah, I don't know.
That was
Far Out.
What was it called? I can't think of it. I can picture it. And I played that song, and I sat down, and this guy that I was starting to get to know, David, he leans over, he goes, hey, I'm getting a band together. I need a singer. You interested? And I'm like,
yeah.
And so he was a guitarist, and he didn't really write lyrics. He didn't really sing, but he wrote a bunch of stuff on the guitar.
Okay.
And everything that he wrote, I liked that. You wrote that? And this never happened to me before. All of a sudden I started hearing, I hear a melody to that.
Yeah.
What do you hear?
Whoa.
Oh, I start writing lyrics. So we started writing songs together, and it just like clicked. And all of a sudden, all these songs, and then, you pull in a drummer who can sing and write, and you pull in a bassist who can sing and write. Now we've got these 4 guys who have different, the drummer was into like The Who.
Yeah.
And the bass, and the bassist was into like The Dead. And the guitarist was into like all this, Echo and the Bunnymen and stuff. And I was into my stuff. So we came together, and it meshed, and it was really cool. So that's how I started writing. And I was I wrote one song, I think, that was all mine in the band. But then after that, I started saying, I wonder if I could write some more songs by myself after the band broke up. And I just started writing. I was like, oh, cool, I can do this.
Wow.
And then I got really... So to answer, that's the long way to get to your point. I've been writing a lot. I probably have like 100 originals.
Wow.
Because I lose track. I'll write a song like a month ago, and then I'll see a voice memo on my phone. What's this? Oh yeah, cool. I like that. I got to really record this. Or I'll see, Word document. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And so my thing now is I've been so busy writing, I haven't really been gigging. What the goal is my wife and I are going to record a CD this at home this winter, however many songs we can get done. And then in the spring, start really trying to gig with the CD. And I'm looking to collaborate. Like I'm looking for, we could do a lot ourselves, but I'm limited. And I want, I can't play drums like you. I can play percussion. And I like the way it sounds on my songs. But we need like a really good drummer, good bassist, someone who can play. I can't play leads, I can't solo. And I'm very open. I like weird exotic instruments. I like didgeridoo. I love percussion. I have all this weird percussion. You ever hear of devil chasers?
No.
Devil sticks, they're called. They're like these bamboo things that are hollow and they got a hole and they're split. So they have like two reeds.
Oh.
And goes,
oh wow!
And you can.
I don't have one of those.
You can open it. I'll bring them. Bring them sometime. I love stuff like that because it adds a voice you don't know, and it's like, oh, cool. That sounds cool on that song.
That's funny. I have a lot of stuff, and I don't have that one. I gotta.
All right.
I gotta look up with that.
They're called devil sticks. They're bamboo. They're like 18 to 24 inches, I think. Wow. I got a pair at home. I'll bring them in for you.
Yeah. And
then there's something called a ghost chaser. You ever hear of that?
No, I need one. My house is haunted.
It's kind of like a jaw harp, but it's a lot longer and it's got a couple strings on it. I think it's Russian or something, and you can strum it kind of like almost like a little dulcimer, but then you use your mouth as the resonance chamber.
Wow,
it's really cool. I'm
trying to get caught up. I'm trying to look at devil sticks.
I love
this
that.
Looks like some kind of martial art thing.
Bruce Lee could probably do something with
Imagine.
it, but it won't be musical, right?
Hey, well, that's cool.
I love exotic stuff and weird stuff and alternative kind of stuff.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Yeah. Like I kind of figure like you can write a song, and if you just play it with your guitar and your voice, there's nothing wrong with that. But a billion people are doing that.
Yeah.
So if you're going to add percussion, like why not do something different?
Yeah.
I've done stuff with like pots and pans, and you don't know what it is, but it sounds good on the recording, and it doesn't sound like a kit.
Do you remember this? Were you ever into that? Did you hear the Fiona Apple record that was like that? The whole record was like that. She did the whole thing in her house. It came out right when we went into lockdown. My wife's a big fan, so we're like, oh, the new Fiona record. And
does it have that song Heavy Balloon?
I don't remember. Because you know what happened was it literally, we were in lockdown for like 2 weeks when it got released.
Oh, okay.
So it was just like, we listened to it.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget this, but we both sat down and listened to the record, and it was crazy because she recorded the whole thing in her. I don't know. Well, Fiona's, I'm sure she has her reasons, but her thing was like, I'm not leaving the house. So percussion was all whatever was around, like you're saying, pots and pans and whatnot.
Yeah.
And we listened to the whole record, and it was like, wow, that was amazing. And then the very next day, overnight, our 13-year-old rabbit died.
Oh.
Like the next day, we brought him to the vet and had to put him down.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I'd
like to say I'm over it, but I'm almost not.
We lost a couple cats recently that were 16, so I know exactly.
You know what's funny is like
It's hard.
We've had a rabbit now for 3 years, and I really like him. I still don't love him like I love my old boy. Like I'm still sad about my old rabbit, but anyway, but she made it. But that's how I remember that record. It's like we were totally into it, and then I forgot all about it because all of a sudden, the bunny died, and we were in a thing. But she did a whole record like that of her, and the percussion was all just whatever was around. It was really cool.
I'm gonna look for that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah,
because like I said, I love.
And it was just like what you're saying. You hear it and you go, "What's that sound?" And you're like, "Oh, it's a drawer." Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
it was neat.
I look. There's a. I can't think of the name of it. There's a movie where David Byrne plays. It stars Sean Penn, He's like an aging rocker.
Okay. I don't know if I remember.
And his wife is Frances McDormand.
Okay.
But his friend is David Byrne. He's playing himself.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow.
And
that's funny.
And Sean Penn's character goes to visit him, and he's in some big, like, abandoned factory or something like that.
Yeah.
And he's at this, I don't remember it exactly what it looks like. I just remember the effect it had on me.
Yeah.
He's at this thing that I don't remember if it looked like a piano or a loom or something. There's like ropes all over.
Yeah,
and he's doing this stuff. And he says, "What are you doing, David?" And he says, "I'm playing the room."
Yeah,
so
right.
And he actually did that. He did some installation in like
I bet.
London or something.
I bet. Yeah.
Where he played the room. I walk around my house. I'm down in the basement, and I see like something that holds the pipe, and I go like this. It goes.
Oh, yeah.
I go, I got to put that on the CD because it sounds cool.
Yeah.
Like
totally.
stupid stuff. Dragging a shovel down the driveway.
Mm-hmm.
I just told my nephew today. We were walking on High Street, and the neighbors bringing their garbage can in.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I said, Ben, every Wednesday night, I'm in bed, and all of a sudden I hear thunder, and I go, thunder? It's not even raining.
Yeah.
And it's my neighbor.
Yeah.
Their garbage, and it fools me almost every week, and I laugh.
Right.
But I'm like, oh, that's cool. We're gonna put that on the album.
Why not? Yeah.
I love like a drum kit, but percussion to me, like rhythm is just everything.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what can I play? Like anything.
Yeah. Why not?
Know?
Yeah.
And
totally.
And some stuff you find by accident.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, the glass with the water, and you go,
oh yeah.
Oh no, I can tune it. I can put less water in it.
You got that right. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. No, I hear that. Yeah. Why not? Yeah. It's endless.
It really is. One of my the guy who probably opened me up to that was Tom Waits.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
like
sure.
listening to Swordfish trombones.
Right, sure.
Blew my
mind. We're like,
I was like, I got to learn to sing like that. Can I?
Yeah.
Do I have to smoke a pack a day? How am I going to do this?
Yeah.
So I have that influence now, and it's my thing.
Yeah.
And I hope it sounds like me, but it's totally a tribute to him.
Yeah, sure.
And just the oh my God.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah.
There's a guy I should tell you about. I'll plug another guy.
Sure.
I don't know, probably 6 or 8 years ago.
Okay.
I'm driving in my car, listening to ESU on the radio, I think it was, and somebody probably what's his name, Rob. I don't want to say DeSorbo. It's the DJ. What's his name?
Oh, Rob DeRosa.
Rob DeRosa.
Sure.
Rob, I think he's talking, and he goes, "All right, I'm going to play something for you now, and you never heard anything like this. This guy named Matt Lorenz, and he's from he's from Amherst area, so not far from us. He calls himself the Suitcase Junket, and he plays guitar and drums at the same time. And you think of that gimmicky thing with the,
Sure.
And he goes, but he's not just playing a drum kit. He's playing pots and pans.
Oh.
He's playing guitar with his hands, singing, and with his feet. He's got all these pedals. And I go, okay. And he played it, and I'm listening to him like, this is good. And it's not gimmicky at all.
Oh,
and
wow.
I went home and I watched a video of him, and I'm like, oh my God.
Check it out. Got
tickets, Cafe 9. My wife and I go down there to see him. I've seen in my life, I've seen U2, sure. I've seen Dylan, I've seen Neil Young, I've seen Springsteen. I've seen a lot of good shows.
Sure.
This is the best live show I've ever seen in my life.
Really?
As a drummer,
I
think it blew my mind, because he'll sit and he writes songs as good as anybody, and he sings and plays as good as anybody, but he's got like 6 pedals, and his toe and his heel will play 2 different things on the same pedal, and he's playing pots and pans and a gas can and a saw blade that sounds like a bell.
Yeah, right.
And
wow, but it doesn't sound silly.
It sounds like, I don't know, like the Black Keys. It sounds like somebody playing drums and somebody playing guitar. And he's so on, and he plays different stuff. Like every song, he's got his feel. But
he's got different saw blade sizes. Imagine, you're like, hold on.
But I was so happy when I discovered him, but I was really sad because I had ideas like that.
Yeah,
like,
right.
I want to try.
I know what you mean. And then I want to go, you think you're him? Yeah, and then it's over.
And now I go, well, I can't do it. He's so good. I'll never be that good.
Sure.
I mean, you know how hard it is just to like sing and play drums at the same time. And he's doing like, and he does this like Tibetan throat whistle thing where he splits his whistle into two, like he blows your mind.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
and he's still around?
Oh yeah, we went and saw him yesterday.
Oh wow, okay.
We went and saw him yesterday.
So people know. Some people know.
Yeah, and I don't understand why he's not massively big because he's that good.
Give it
but
time.
you know how hard it is to,
sure.
Right? If you're trying to make it big or whatever.
Yeah, and then he'll make one TikTok video and it'll probably blow up.
He just said yesterday, I never heard it before. He said he wrote a song. And it got millions of streams. And I was like, really? And he said, yeah, I became $1,000-aire.
Yeah, right.
Because it's streaming.
Right.
But I'm glad, like, people should know him.
Yeah.
And as I tell every drummer I know, you got to go see this guy.
Yeah. I'll check it out.
You know.
Yeah.
He's playing Friday, September 27th at Cafe 9.
Oh, okay.
I want to go again.
Remind me.
All right.
I'll go. Maybe I'll show up.
He's from around here, so he does.
Okay. We'll hook up at the end. I'll make sure I keep an eye on him.
He's one of those guys.
To see that.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that's so good to me, like Tom Waits. It's like, I want to be that good, but I can't do what he's doing. I have to somehow do my own thing and not be, it's because you can't not be influenced.
Right. Well, he's inspiring.
Because it's such he's such a shadow to be, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I love finding I did this thing with this song and that has that flavor, but it's my, I don't know, interpretation. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what it's all about. Don't you think, I mean, it's another thing, is that like, if you're going to be inspired by somebody and then give it your own whack, it's probably not going to come out like people are not going to be aware of what you're trying to do. Yeah. You know what you're trying, you know who you were inspired by or what you're shooting for. Yeah. And the way it comes out, like I try to explain to some of my drum students, like I've made an entire career out of getting other drummers' licks wrong. You know what I mean?
That's beautiful.
I do it.
I love it.
I learn how to do that. Like I'll hear somebody play something that's hot, and without thinking about it, I'll just imitate what I think it is, and not even know if I'm getting it right. But as long as it comes out right and it's a flow, I'll go, okay, cool. And then I'll go back and go, all right, let me see how wrong I was. And I'll watch it and I'll go, 8 times out of 10, I'm wrong. And I'll go, oh, okay, it wasn't exactly what I thought. But let me use the other part of my brain and let me actually learn what he's doing. Yeah. But in the meantime, I came up with this whole other lick that no one would even think I was trying to do that because I got it so wrong. And it's kind of like I have my whole repertoire of it's like a shadow, I don't know what the word is, but it's like it's. No,
I get it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nobody has any idea what I was going for.
It's your interpretation. It's your I totally
out of error, out of all errors. Out of misinterpretation. It's like a shadow of what it was actually, but it doesn't matter because I go, well, if I don't have if I had 100% expert level of interpretation, then it's like, congratulations, you played someone else's expression. Big deal.
Right.
But the fact that I always get it wrong enough is like, well, let me use that to my advantage and just make sure. I mean, as long as it's rhythmically sound,
right?
You land on the one. It's like anything goes. But people have no idea what I was trying to cop. They don't know.
It's funny you say that because
it's weird. It's like a shadow style.
I have a similar thing, but it's not. You said you're like you get it wrong or you make a mistake.
Yeah.
For me, I'll hear like whatever a riff or something, and I actually can't. It's my limitation. I'm not like getting it wrong. I can't play it.
Right.
So I go, well, what can I play? Oh, I can do this thing. I can hammer this thing or whatever. Something I can do with my limited. I've heard somebody say this famous. I don't remember who it was, but it's like, do the most with whatever.
Of course.
Whatever you have. You might only have 3 little things you can do, but do a million ways to do that. And I found with the limitation, I wrote a song that I heard something and it led me to do something on the guitar. like a riff kind of. I call it a riff. It's a rhythm thing, but rhythm riff. But I couldn't play it, but I played my thing, and then it was in a different key, and it was slower, and it kept changing. Now I don't even remember what the original thing was, and I'm glad.
Right.
Because I'm always afraid. Don't get too influenced by... And I wrote one of my better songs, one of my favorite songs.
And no one would ever make the connection.
I don't think so. Right, I hope not. Yeah. And it's, you know how it is. Is anybody 100% original all the time? You know, it's so hard because you never want to...
Yeah.
But you're always going to be influenced.
Well, that's what's so
cool.
Have to. That's what's so cool about it.
There's a lot of music that I don't listen to that I want to because I don't want to steal something by accident. Right. You know, it's a weird little... As a songwriter, it's very weird.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Because you're trying to, you know... Yeah. And Tom Petty said, you know, hey, somebody... I think they were looking at Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah, right.
Danny California, sure. Or one of their songs.
Yeah,
they said, they stole the riff from, you know, Last Dance with Mary Jane. Mm-hmm. And Tom Petty himself said, there's only so many chords.
Yeah.
You know, he was totally cool about it. He said, there's only so many chords. Yeah. There's only so many ways to play them.
Right.
And he knew they were doing their thing. And he said, don't worry about it.
Right.
And they both had hit songs. So it's,
right.
You know what I mean?
It's easy for him to say, I guess, at that level. But rather than and just say, sure.
It's your intention is a big part of it.
And I mean, let's be honest. I'm not a huge Chili Peppers fan. I got to be honest. But they didn't go, hey, let's rip... We don't need to rip off Tom Petty to have a hit. They have their own lane, so it's just like, you know, whatever.
And everything about them is different than everything about the Heartbreakers. You know what I mean?
Right. So
everything. Yeah, and they're both good songs. And I didn't make the connection till now I hear the riff. I mean, whatever.
Maybe it might have been different if it were somebody that never had a hit before, but it's just kind of like.
And you know when it's like, you know.
Yeah.
Vanilla Ice with
right.
Din, 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 din,
right.
Din. And he said it was.
Yeah,
he said it was.
Changed one note.
Yeah. It's like, shut up. No, you played it 4 times and they played it 5.
Oh, then now you're free to go. Yeah. Dude, come on. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Well, that's what to get back to that one little piece that sometimes I tell my students too. I mean, it's a fine line between like. You know, I feel like, you know, you want to have a certain bass level. I mean, drums are a little different than I would think being a songwriter because we have to theoretically be a little bit more utilitarian. You know, we have to be able to, our skill level, we have to be able to serve the songwriter, you know, so it's kind of like, but I feel like, you know, there's a basic skill level that I try to get everybody kind of at so that you can branch off. But I always try to remind students sometimes if they run up against something, I go, but you know what? Sometimes your limitation can help with your style because sometimes style is built on limitations. Mm-hmm. If every drummer, if there was just like a level that you could all reach, and then once you reach that level, then the only one that would get the gig is the guy who's geographically closer. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
So it's like 100%. Within reason. Like I don't mean that like you should be lazy. I mean, there's plenty of things I can't do either. We all have how far do you want to push yourself? Mm-hmm. But you just get like I played everything wrong. Lefty, open lefty, all I don't do anything the right way. And I have a whole bunch of workarounds to make things work that no one would ever do, that someone should have untaught, but they couldn't. And it works for me. And
your workaround could be your sound and your style.
Well, you know, I have a pretty strong style, but that comes from limitation to a degree. But you don't want to use it as a cop out. But that's what I tell some of my kids sometimes when you just go, you know, don't sweat it. I mean, we all can't be whatever when people start off drumming or whatever they think, it's like we're not always going to be the final scene in Whiplash or whatever the hell or whatever. You're not going to be the thing. So like, you know, express yourself, get in your zone. You'll be fine.
Right.
And sometimes limitations help. Anyway.
And everybody's got them. You can't, you know.
Yeah. I mean,
everybody wants to play like Hendrix, but
who
plays like Hendrix?
But people, right. And anyway, we all know.
Actually.
Well, and then sometimes you run into musicians that see, you know, you see kind of, you know, geniuses on YouTube or whatever that seem to have no limitation, but they're not really making anything I want to hear. it's cool. It's like, yeah, that's cool, but whatever. But anyway.
That can come back to that technical virtuoso.
Right.
But does it move me? You know, and sometimes it does.
Well, some people like that.
Sometimes, yeah.
You know, some people like to be intimidated by someone's prowess, and that's fine. That's cool. There's a thing for that.
Whatever turns you on, right?
Whatever turns you on. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, totally. Your new thing that you're trying to write and complete, is there a theme, or do you not work like that? Like, is there
songwriting, you mean?
Yeah, like when you say that, like you're gonna make this CD or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think in terms of, because no offense, we're older, we still think in terms of albums as a statement, you know?
I know, the concept album, the
know.
rock opera. I want to do that so bad.
Yeah, well, why not?
Well, all right, so...
Or is it just a collection, like these are the songs that I've worked on over this last period of time?
I won't know until I'm sort of in it.
Yeah, sure.
It's weird because, you know, typically, like, you write 10 or 15 songs, you make an album. Then you write 10 or 15 songs, you make another album. I have this problem where I have so many songs, it's really hard to pick.
I got you.
And I know some of my songs are, you know, this song's stronger than that song, or I'm more attached to this song right now than that song.
Yeah.
And it tends to be the newer ones that I like better. And when I was younger, I wrote more about like breakups and stuff like that.
Sure.
And I still like those songs,
Yeah.
but you kind of outgrow them, you know, and now I'm writing like love songs for my wife. And I like that. It's fun.
Well, you never know.
Like,
There might be breakup songs in the future.
Hey, no. She loves her love songs, but it's fun because I wrote like a rock love song, and I've never done that before. And I was like, oh, this is cool. It's one of my favorite songs.
Yeah, I like rock.
And
love
it's
songs.
more recent. So I'm not looking to like write an album. I'm looking to take, you know, 10 or whatever songs that I've probably already written and say, these go together, like you said, either stylistically or thematically or a concept. You know, we had one concept that we were going to do an album called The Evolution of Sorrow. Okay. And it's like 12 songs, and it starts off with the sad songs of loss and breakup and death and stuff like that. And then it morphs into that growth that you get out of that. And then it ends with like love songs.
Nice.
So it's like that might be something we do.
Yeah, that's cool.
I just have to, this is my ADD. I have to pick the songs and just do them and not get distracted when I'm in the middle of this. Say, no,
Good luck with that.
Just do it.
Yeah.
I'll get it. I'll get it because I'm just determined. But that's like, so I don't know yet how it's going to be. It's probably going to be more songs that are written sort of more recently because they're fresher and they're, you know, but I have a few that I wrote quite a while ago that I still love. And I'm like, oh, does that work on that album? You know what I mean?
Do you write constantly? Like
lately?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So just boom, boom, boom.
About a month ago, my wife and I went to California and for a week, and we got on a plane. And I remember somebody telling me, when you're on a plane, when you're up at 30,000 feet, like the atmosphere energetically is really pure. Okay. There's no people there. There's nothing. There's no culture. There's no crap, you know? It's a good time to be creative. And I go, oh, okay,
wow,
cool. I'm going to try and write a song. And here I am, and I'm looking out the window, and we're above the clouds, and I'm looking down over, you know, whatever it was. And I started thinking about my dad. And he's still alive, but he's getting older. And he's got some, you know,
cognitive
dementia.
Issues.
Dementia.
Sure.
And I said, I want to write a song for Dad.
Yeah.
And my nephews lovingly call him the King of All Men. And I go, all right, that's it, the King of All Men. That's what I'm going to write. Man. And I started, I don't remember how it came to me first because the melody and the lyrics came, but I think I had some lyric ideas. And I started, you know, I'm on my phone, tick, 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 you know, before I forget. And I told Megan, this is what I'm doing. So she knew, don't distract me. And I'm just like, because I had to get it out. And it was flowing. And I got like a whole verse. And then I heard the melody. And on the plane, I'm like singing into my phone. Because if I remember I'll get lyrics. If I forget them, I'll come up with something new. But I want to have that melody that I liked. and I'm singing the melody, got the verse, another verse came, wrote those lyrics. Then I started hearing something, and it's one of those songs, I don't know what the chorus is and what the bridge is. It's what's the pre-chorus, but different parts, and it's like another part. And I sung it all, and I got this song about probably 75% done on the plane.
Hey.
And it was like, whoa. And then we landed, and that week...
That's wild.
I almost wrote... I had a new song idea. I didn't finish them all, but I had like 7 days. I came home with like 9.
Wow.
And that's
wild.
I don't know exactly why or how it's happened, but I'm trying to... Neil Young has this thing where he says, I have a deal with my muse. When my muse speaks, I drop everything and I listen. And any like wife he's ever had, they know, okay, he's writing. Leave him alone.
Yeah, right.
And
he's also putting a roof over our head right now. So.
A little bit, right? Yeah. And he's got this thing where he stops everything and he gets that. And I'm trying to do that. It's like this deal you have with your muse. Like if you do that for me, I'll do this for you.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm really good at starting songs. Now I got Joe Flood is a guy I know, and he says he's a finisher on your podcast.
Oh.
And I go, I got to write a song with Joe.
Hey, there you go.
Joe's one of my influences.
Oh, wow.
Joe, you might remember, was the best man at my brother's wedding.
I didn't, but it makes sense.
Decades ago. They graduated high school together. They played music together.
Yeah.
One of my first, I was probably about 13.
Okay.
In the summer, going outside Portland in the sort of rural suburbs that we lived in. And Joe and my brother and maybe 1 or 2 other guys would be out there, banjos, fiddles, mandolins, guitars. And they're not busking. They're not playing. They're just playing.
Oh, yeah.
And everybody would gather. And I thought it was the coolest thing in the world.
Yeah.
And I saw, that's my brother doing that. Maybe he can show me.
Yeah.
And so those guys got me into, and Joe, wanting to play. And because I took like some piano lessons, and I'll tell you about my drum lessons when I was younger.
Oh, boy.
That's an interesting story. But
oh, boy.
Joe is one of my influences. I love his sound. I love his style.
Yeah.
I love his songwriting. And I got to take some of these songs that I haven't finished. And if I don't have the discipline to finish, give one to him and say,
yeah, right.
Do you like this? Do you hear anything? And
Amen.
he'll probably finish it faster than me. But so.
That's awesome.
You want to hear my drum story?
Sure. Why not?
8th grade, I think it was. At what we used to call the junior high school.
Okay.
Now it's the middle school.
Here in Portland.
Yeah,
Okay.
and there was a band. There's the school band.
Sure.
And I'm like, I want to play. I want to do something. And I said, I want to play drums.
Right.
I got my drumsticks and I got my drum pad. And I'm not going to name names. The guy who was in charge was like,
sure,
not like whiplash, but like, very strict.
Sure.
Kind of had a temper.
Yeah.
He was brilliant, I've heard.
Yeah.
But I just,
yeah.
I couldn't, I wanted to learn drums, but it was so unpleasant. After 2 weeks, I took my drumsticks in the school bus. I broke them over my leg, and I threw them out the school bus window. My friend thought I was cool.
Yeah, yeah.
I wish I never did that. Because imagine how good I could be.
All right. Well,
if I played all this time. Like I played piano for a couple years when I was like 11, and I got pretty good.
I broke my fingers.
But then
I quit.
I broke my fingers over my...
Yeah.
But then I got bored because it was classical, and I didn't...
Yeah.
And I go, I could be so good. But some of that stuff I learned, like...
It's hard, right?
Music theory still comes to me, I think, subconsciously when I'm writing a song.
I say it's hard as a teacher. You got to get kids through that. Even though it's tedious, it's not fun, but that's when they got to get their time in. It's not easy.
It's got to be.
I have a way
fun somehow and interesting somehow.
Right. Well,
and
I think it's a little different now.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm able to be. I have a million techniques of manipulating children to learn, which I love.
But and adults hopefully too.
But you could be the cool guy. Like they could want to work for you because they like you because we're having fun.
Yeah.
And you can get them to work. I think probably back then it was the old days where, like you say, there was only but that one way. However, I will say this: I remember it depends on how many kids were in your drum class because when I was in junior high, it was kind of the same way. and every kid thinks that, no offense, but every kid thinks that they want to play drums. He did that to weed them out. And then, like, when it got down to, like, 5 or 6 of us, he was like, okay, we're still going to be serious, but it's not always going to be. I just had to get rid of the ones that were going to slow down the ones that were serious. Oh, okay, cool. And then it got easier. So.
And I'll tell you, since then, I've been a teacher.
Oh, okay. So
I've been
you know
a
the
teacher,
whole rigmarole.
And I was in the Hartford Public School System for a year and a half as an assistant. But, 25 kids in the class, and it's just you and the teacher, and maybe half of them are like hyperactive or aggressive or ADD or whatever. Yeah. And it's an impossible task almost.
Of course.
And now I get, he was dealing with us. I probably was talking when he was, because I was like that. I was very energetic as a kid and very talkative, and I probably was a pain in the ass, and I didn't mean to be. So again, I'm not judging. Things happen for a reason, and there's no reason I can't start playing drums now if I wanted to. Yeah. My wife's playing. It's cool. It's fun. And now she's playing drums while I play guitar. That's and we're seeing, hey, can we get a duo thing going? Because she sings harmonies to like my mellower stuff and sounds really good, and we don't need anything else. Yeah. But we have some rock stuff, and I'm like, it'd be really fun to do a little White Stripes kind of a thing. And I can't play guitar like Jack White, but that kind of a vibe.
Why not?
Oh yeah.
Well, I'm sorry drums didn't work out for you. You're probably better off.
Well, now percussion's one of my favorite things, so it's not like I ever
you still
gave up the passion, but I didn't learn the kit when I could have as a kid, and graduated high school like, oh wow, I can.
Yeah, but I have a great respect for writers of songs, though, because otherwise we wouldn't have anything to play. You know what I mean? Because my job is, it's like you're laying the groundwork or whatever, laying the bricks.
Interesting.
No,
I know what you mean. And it's like everybody needs everybody, because my big thing now is I need to find people to collaborate with, because like I said, I could make a CD an album by myself, and I would be really proud of that. Yeah. But it's not going to have, I want cello and I want tuba and I want, you know what I mean? I want someone who could play a lead and all that kind of stuff that they hear that you don't. I've worked with a few different like songwriters who go, oh, you're going to the E there. If you went to the F sharp, just in that one spot, and you do it, and you go, oh wow, oh yeah, and they don't want, to be a co-writer. It was just an idea. They heard something, and you do that for them, and it's cool. It's like everybody has to help everybody.
Awesome,
because music, it's such a community thing.
Yeah, well, that's it's supposed to be.
What's it all about? It brings people together.
Theoretically, it's supposed to. Yeah. Yep. Cool. All right. We're getting close.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, it flew by.
Can you imagine that?
Nice. That means we're having a good time.
No, definitely. Absolutely. Is there anything, I have a couple wrap up questions. Mm-hmm. Is there anything that you did not talk about that you want to at this time? You have 10 seconds.
Let me think. Well, like I said, we're gonna record a CD an album this winter, then start gigging in the spring. The way people could find us, some people know me around here, but the way people could find us is the name that I'm known as in my family is Mash. Okay. M-A-S-H. My nephew started calling me that when they were little. They tried to say Uncle Matthew, and it came out Uncle Mash. One of them did that, and then it caught on, and then they all loved it.
Here we are.
Everybody knows me as Mash, who's like in my family and even some friends. So I'm Mash, and my wife's nickname is Mug. Oh. So it's Mash and Mug.
Okay. That's cool.
I want to I've come up with 100 band names.
That sounds
and
good.
They're all good names, but they're for like, but that's if we were a reggae band. That's if we were a punk band. Yeah. They're not for our music. And I just told my wife, I'm like, can we just be Mash and Mug?
Why not?
So that's what I want to do. We'll see. I think we'll have probably a website that's mashandmug.com and an email and that kind of thing. And nobody out there has that name, so that's cool.
That's true.
And then we'll have, gigs and merch and CDs and all that kind of stuff.
You know what you could do? You could make it one word, mash and mug, EN, and put an umlaut over it. You know what I mean?
I've thought of that.
Yeah.
I've thought of that. We're playing. I got a logo. I got the whole thing. But we'll, yeah.
Killer.
We'll, if you ever want me back, I'd love to come back.
Yeah.
Because there's things
Why
I'm
not?
thinking of that I want to say that would take too long.
Yeah.
But maybe I come back in the spring with
It'll
a CD.
happen. Yep.
And
Yep. If the world doesn't end, but you never know.
I got songs about that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, definitely. Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, no, there's plenty of things to say. I just wanted to say that I'm looking to hook up with other musicians that want to help me finish writing some songs, record them, play out.
Cool.
I love collaborating. I haven't done it much in a while, but I've got tons of energy, tons of ideas, and I like giving people. Like if you and I were working together, I'd say, "What do you hear on drums?" I don't want to tell you what to play. What do you hear?
Yeah.
And if I like it, I'll say, "Yeah." If I don't, I'll say, "That's good, but can you make that a little more bluesy or whatever?"
Yeah.
And we'll do something where everybody contributes and everybody loves it.
That's the way it should be.
And then it's going to be something you couldn't have imagined yourself, but it's better than you could have imagined.
Right. Totally.
To me, that's like.
That's what you want.
The songwriting thing.
Cool.
Can I play a song?
We got 4 minutes.
That's okay. Don't worry about it.
You got to come back.
Come
back, and we'll be more prepared.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because I have an idea for that. That what I was hoping. I don't know if I should spring this on you, but I was hoping I could play a song of mine.
Yeah.
That 3/4 song, and you could play percussion while I'm playing it.
All right. Okay.
Very. We'll
get it together.
Yeah. Very simple.
Okay.
My songs aren't like complicated,
right.
But I think that I've never seen that on a podcast of yours,
okay.
and I think that would be really
All right.
cool and a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So
I'm down.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right. So when you come back, you'll have a product.
Yeah.
You'll have a product to talk about.
Album,
you'll have
man.
gigs to talk about. All right.
An album with deep cuts.
Yeah.
No, that will be awesome. And yeah.
All right. Cool.
Looking forward to it.
I like it. Real quick, in 3 minutes.
Do it. I know these questions.
5 Desert Island albums.
I can't do favorites. It depends on like
sure, of course.
But like there was.
It's just to let people know,
The Black Crowes,
Yep.
Southern Harmony Musical
Sure.
Companion.
Yep.
When that came out, I bought it and
Sure.
I played it every day for like a year.
Sure.
And I haven't listened to it maybe since then, but like it was so. Yep. And that was another influence. Chris Robinson. Oh, that voice. How do I,
for sure.
Tom Waits, Swordfish Trombones.
Sure. Yeah.
Oh my God! If I don't say Zeppelin, my wife will kill me.
Yeah, right.
Anything from Zeppelin.
Yeah, sure.
Anything from Jack White, especially the earlier stuff.
Yeah.
And I want to get something. I don't know, like maybe Björk's first album or second album.
Oh yeah.
Where she's just. I saw her live too.
I did too.
Oh my God.
At the Palace in New Haven back in the day.
I saw her in Providence. Is there a Palace in Providence?
Maybe.
I think so.
Yeah.
And it was so
amazing.
rowdy.
Yeah.
Like I had to leave the floor because I thought I was going to get crushed because people were just, and they were just having fun.
Yeah.
There was this group of like kids from like Iceland, and they were just like,
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, it was
beautiful. Good. Yeah, crazy. Desert Island food, real quick. You don't have to be into food.
Oh no, I'm really.
I started asking that question.
I'm really into food. I love so many foods. It's not a desert island thing, but like in the fall or the winter, like just a simple split pea soup.
Oh, nice.
With like a rye sourdough toast. That's just so.
Good for you.
That sticks to your ribs,
Yeah. Not my thing, but I can imagine it.
It's not a desert island.
Right. Yeah.
I'm just gonna whip
There's
up.
There's not gonna be any peas on my desert island. Just let you know, but that's okay.
I'm big into gardening. We feed the bunnies in our yard. The wild bunnies. They love our garden because they eat half of everything, and it's like that's okay.
It's that's cool.
They hide from the fox and they get away, so it's all good. We love them.
Yeah, my sister and brother-in-law had. Yeah, I forget what the rabbits came and ate everything. Like
They
they
can
were
do it
growing
overnight.
something. Oh yeah, and they were just
The woodchuck did the same thing. They'll just mow down a whole row of peas, and you're like, we got to plant more peas.
Yeah. Oh well. Hey, wildlife got to eat too. You know.
Let them have it.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. We plant enough for everybody. We share with our neighbors. And
Hey,
stuff, and it's fun.
You know what I'm saying? That's the way it should be. All right, Matthew Foley.
Yes, sir. John Peckman.
Live and in person. Thanks. Yeah, so get all your things done and come back, and we'll figure it out.
I'm looking forward to it. Let's think spring. I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to
Yeah.
it.
Oh,
That'll
yeah.
be awesome.
I'll be there.
Thank you so much.
Right.
I really, really appreciate it.
Of course. Yeah, man. For sure. All right, here's music you're not hearing, but everybody is. Hey, there it is. John Peckman Podcast, Kankakee Valley School of Music and Dance, Booths, downtown Portland. Come over to the bridge, go cool with you. Park in front of the school thing. Yeah, you know what to do. I'm not saying it all again. Like and subscribe. Tell your friends. Tell your neighbors. Be on the show with me. Matt did it. How bad could it be? He did it.
It was
You know what I'm
awesome.
saying? Have your own podcast here in our beautiful studio. Dave will tell you how right now. Thanks a lot. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
All right.
All right, that is all.
If you'd like to start your own podcast, give us a call at Connecticut Valley School of Music and Dance. Our professionally designed podcast space is here for all your recording needs. Rent out our studio to do interviews with up to 4 people, to record audiobooks, social media content, and all other recorded material. Our rentals include a private studio along with our professional-grade podcasting equipment, and we can customize your output to whatever your needs are. We also have green screen capabilities, which will expand to video capability if you so wish. So check us out here at convalley.net/podcast.